The camera runs all night now. I set it facing the room before we turned in the door, the window, the dark where the hall should be. Everything gets recorded. Nothing gets lost. Morning, I was scrubbing the night footage when I heard it. Under the heater tick, under the static, somebody said a word into our room. Nobody said a word. The room was silent all night. The microphone caught something the room did not make.
Mercy.
I woke her.
Play it again.
Mercy.
It sat between two sounds, Mercer or Mercy, or something that wore a name for 1 second and then didn't.
That's not what I heard.
I rewound it. She heard one thing, I heard another. Every replay made it worse. The tape does not clarify down here, it degrades. Nothing in this room made that sound, but the echo on the tape was wrong, long and flat, a hallway sound, not this room. Whatever said it was standing in a hall. The kettle went on. It went on last night like nothing had happened, and now it was going on again while I stood there about to ruin the quiet. I pitched it wrong, already reaching for the bag. I said the word from the tape and told her I needed to find its source, and she gave me the look she gives when I am already leaving. She didn't say no, she didn't say yes. So I told her what I had never said. That thing in Playland took her and she came out somewhere I couldn't follow. I had 3 days, she had months, but those 3 days were every door on a list I couldn't read, alone in the paint, talking to a recorder because nobody else was there. I never told her because her time was larger and mine felt like it didn't count.
You never said any of that.
She eased up, not because I asked her to, because she hadn't known, and the distance between not knowing and knowing was the entire apology.
Then let's go looking.
I played the tape back in the hall. The echo matched. Whatever said it was standing right here, and the only thing in this hallway was a painting between two doors.
Mercy.
She stopped at it, I stopped because she did.
That is Mercy, Cole. Listen.
It is not Mercy. I held the recorder close and she leaned in to prove me wrong, the light in it, the warmth, whether the floor looked real. I leaned in because she had. The ceiling got higher around a word she hadn't finished. The carpet was gone. I marked the frame behind us, the duck, the way home is a picture now. It felt like a study, a desk, stacked books, a bell, and on the wall behind it a grid of small photographs, every one identically framed. We came here for the source, not the name. Somebody said a word into our room from a level we had never opened, and the question was not what it said, the question was who. The registry had an answer, and the answer made it worse. Mercer, real name, real entry, a man with dates that do not fit mine by a margin too wide to mistake. Someone said a dead stranger's name into our apartment, and the dead stranger was not me. I took an almond water from the bar without thinking about it. She poured 2. I came here looking for my name and I got someone else's. I want the record to hold that shape because I think it is going to keep happening.
Through the double doors.
Through the double doors and the room changed. White walls, track lighting, paintings, not a threat, not a chase. Just 2 people walking slowly past pictures. Stand close enough and you hear it, not a noise in the room, the noise that belongs to the place in the picture. Edith stopped first. I knew which painting before I looked because she had gone still. A ball pit hall, tube slides, playland. From 2 steps away the sound bled through the canvas. I was in there too. I came in after her with a crowbar and I did not come out the same person, and the painting does not show that part. It shows a ball pit and some slides in a color I will never like again.
I was in there for a long time before you came. I could hear the music from inside the tubes. I am fine. I would just like to move on.
We moved on. I did not push. The next one was water with no bottom. I dived. I roped myself to 3 metal chairs so that I would sink, and I held one breath for the whole way down. 2 things live in that water. One of them hears you and the other one comes for light, and I got past both of them by throwing my own ballast away a piece at a time. The last chair I threw so it would catch my flare and go spinning off, glinting into the dark, and while it went after that I swam down with everything I had left in me. I remember what I was thinking very clearly. Not me, not yet. I got into the mouth of the cave with nothing left. No air, no strength, lying in a pocket of air inside the rock, laughing at the ceiling. Then the frozen caves and a dead man against a wall wearing the only warm thing down there, so I took his suit off him and put it on. I woke up on a hospital bed at Harmouth, warm for the first time in days, and a woman was reading the name tag on my chest. She said it out loud like she already knew me. I did not correct her. That is how I met her, and that is where the name came from. She wrote it down like it was true.
You were the worst handwriting I ever filed, and you never once told me it was not your name.
Then fluorescent lights and shuttered food counters. She got to that one first.
I had a shelf and a kettle and a list of who was owed what. People came through, and I fed them and they left, and I wrote all of it down. And every single time the door went, I looked up first, before anything else. I was waiting. That is the part I never said out loud, because saying it would have made it a thing you owed me. I kept the second cup out every morning, and I will be honest with you, since you were honest at the kettle. It got thinner. After a while, I was setting it out the way you tidy a room nobody is coming to. I kept doing it anyway. I could have gone looking. Everyone told me to go looking. I stayed because of something you said in that mall, the one where the ceiling was the floor, when you told me you would bring me here one day. Nobody promises a place they are not going to walk into, so I stayed where the promise was and I let you come to me.
I had been carrying a version of those rooms where she was at a window looking out for me, and I had been calling that my guilt talking. It was not. It was accurate, and it was worse than accurate, because she was doing it on the strength of one sentence I said once and never thought about again. I said all of that out loud into the recorder, so it is on the tape and not only in my head. And one canvas was just a yellow corridor going away from you, lit from underneath, no door at either end, level 0. The first hallway I ever walked, hanging on a wall like it was worth looking at. I stood in front of that one longer than I meant to. Edith did not say anything about that either. By the door there was a notice in her handwriting, "Welcome to our exhibition. Every brushstroke paints a story." And at the bottom, in the same cheerful hand, a promise that a special guest artist was coming soon.
Coming soon from where?
I did not have an answer, and neither did the room. It is the only sentence in this building written like an invitation and read like a date. Most of them we had never been anywhere near. 2 of those I recognized anyway, because they are painted on the doors in our own hallway, and we walk past them every day without opening either one.
155, what do you think is in there?
Whatever it is, somebody stood in it long enough to paint it. The other one was 21, 4 hallways about 26 miles each meeting at a square, and the girl in the studio walks people to that one when they ask nicely. Down the far gallery, someone else was in the room. A figure working on a mural, and the text around her was glitching, rearranging itself as she moved. We walked past. She did not look up.
Who paints in a museum?
We watched her from the far end of the room. The letters around her would not hold still. Every time she moved, they rearranged into something else, and none of it stayed long enough to read.
She has not looked up once.
Edith stopped me before I could decide anything. She said we were not doing that, and she was right, and what I noticed was that I did not argue. Behind the screens, a studio. Easels, paint rags, daylight through a big window.
Oh, hello, you're early.
A girl in purple glasses and pajamas. I asked to record. The rules say no photographing without permission, break them, and the door locks behind you. She said yes like it was nothing. She paints what she feels like painting. The woman in the gallery, she has always been here. She paints the big ones, the voice on our tape.
I don't know what that is. There's a room with snacks somewhere if you're hungry.
She was not lying, the source was still in the building. Edith looked at me, the woman in the gallery, the one with the glitching text. Before we left, I asked her name.
Don't know it, doesn't matter.
A girl who does not know her name, standing in front of a man who does not know his, and she cannot see the problem. No name, a stranger's name, no source. The day had run out of rooms, and the girl in the pajamas had not run out of warmth.
Won't you stay for a while?